Hello, friends and beautiful people. It is Kathryn Massell, elevated consciousness coach, conscious creatrix, and 5D visionary. Hello, and thanks for joining me for today's quick talk on finding your purpose and why that's kind of a myth that's been bought and sold to us. So if you like content like this, go ahead and click the subscribe button in the lower icon in the right hand corner of the screen, and you'll get more content on this page about all things spiritual and human awakening and how to better navigate your life through this ascension timeline into 5D. I have hundreds of videos on my YouTube channel, and I'm posting more and more all the time. So click to subscribe and you'll see them when they get posted. And thank you for that. Thank you for following my channel. So I wanted to talk really quickly about something that I kind of have a big hang up with. So I am a coach. I, yes, do a lot of talking about and sharing about how to better navigate on this ascension timeline that we're on, how to move into the consciousness of 5D reality now while we're in 3D. But I coach clients, and one of the things that I kind of bristle at, and it gets thrown around quite a bit in the coaching industry, is the phrase, find your purpose. It's something that, to me, it goes against the idea that human beings have free will to choose their destiny. All the knowledge that I've accrued, everything that I've channeled, everything that I've divinely downloaded has pointed to the idea that humans have free will choice, and we are always and ever in charge of our destiny. So this idea that we find our purpose as if it's something that's appointed to us and it's just out there somewhere, this nebulous thing that maybe if we're on the right path or in the right frequency, we'll stumble upon it, and then there it is, our purpose. You know, we've bought and sold the myth to ourselves that we go through this life seeking, following like a trail of breadcrumbs, really, about what we're meant to do with our lives until one day, boom, maybe, there it is. There's my purpose, right? Now, to me, this seems entirely too passive. Maybe it may seem very passive for you as well. And for those of you that feel like it is really passive, it ought to, because there is a level of knowledge and understanding that goes beyond the intellect. It's on a deep, heart-centric level of comprehension that our lives have meaning and purpose because we co-create that with the universe. We design, we create, and then cultivate our purpose. And we derive meaning from life in the way that we show up as ourselves every single day. And this may come as a relief to those of you who are mid-scavenger hunt, you know, following this trail of breadcrumbs, looking for this elusive purpose of your life. It can feel like an enormous weight lifting, and it can feel like an unburdening to know that you don't find your purpose, rather you create it. So what happens when you have this kind of burden leaving you is that this is liberated energy now. This is freed up energy that you can now use to focus your efforts on the design of your life. And you can calibrate your compass to due north, okay? So when you are creating a very clear desire and intention for the direction of your life, it is like calibrating your inner compass to due north. This is always and ever the path that you set for yourself based on your desire, your intention, your idea to create meaning and purpose that resonates for you. This is your destiny. The universe never chooses that for you. So the idea that you find your purpose, that goes against this idea that you create your own destiny. You move through life and navigate the path of your life and actually find what that path is based on your desire, your intention, your meaning that you derive in your everyday life. The idea that you're on this path of following a trail of breadcrumbs to find your purpose totally goes against that free will choice to design your own legacy of light, to design your own destiny, yes? And you might be in that camp where you feel liberated now to design, create, and cultivate a life where you create meaning and purpose through how you are in this beautiful collaboration and co-conspiracy with the universe. Or you're in the other camp, where you're kind of shrinking from this truth that your purpose is created, not bestowed upon you by the universe some glorious day in the future. Or even worse, you can feel that the universe owes you a purpose or has promised you a purpose for your life. And those of you, obviously, who are in that camp, you're still playing the victim. And you feel like you're asking the questions all the time. Why am I here? What is the meaning of life? Well, there is no meaning of life. You create meaning for your life. And that's where we not necessarily get it wrong, but we get confused and we get overwhelmed and we get sidetracked to not an absolute truth, but a truth for us. Because down here in 3D reality, where things get very, very dense, we don't know the absolute truths. And in fact, I think the absolute truths would really blow our minds. So we get versions of the truth. And what I'm sharing with you here is just one version of the truth, which is that if you want life to have meaning, you must create that. If you want to have a purpose for your life, you must create that. And I always work with clients in that first camp, those who are really ready to point their compass due north, those who hold the frequency that the promise of a better life filled with meaning, filled with joy, creativity, and the beautiful alchemy of being, that is a promise that they make to themselves. It's not a promise given by the universe. The universe owes you nothing, really. The universe promises you nothing. You create the meaning. You create the relationship, the co-creative relationship with the universe. The universe doesn't create that for you. You create that. And you decide what that relationship, that co-creative relationship with the universe, what that will be. And I love to work with clients that understand that, because when you liberate yourself from the limited belief systems that you're finding your purpose, that the universe owes you something, that the universe has promised you something, that by virtue of being here and inhabiting a body and being in this process of living out this life, that somehow there's going to be some meaning that just kind of blows your mind one day. No. You create that for yourself. And I love working with people who understand that that level of creativity is always and ever available to you. It's a consciousness shift for you to be able to step into that. And when you do that, the beautiful alchemy of being is it's just there. It just opens up incredible potentials for ways of being that, because your mind, your imagination was so tethered to this idea that my purpose is out there somewhere. I have to find it. I have to seek it out. When you liberate yourself from that belief, all possibilities and all potentials show up in the now moment. And it can be an incredibly wonderful and vast and expansive place to be. So maybe this is something you want to spend a little time thinking about and opening up your mind and your imagination to this week as we find ourselves closer and closer to this kind of portal shift, this kind of sealing off of a portal, really, of old 3D ways of being. This might be a great time for you to examine this for yourself and maybe close off some of those old belief systems around maybe where you are playing the victim and thinking that the universe owes you something, the universe has promised you something, your purpose or your meaning in life has been promised to you just by showing up here in a body. It doesn't mean that at all. And when we liberate ourselves from that belief, incredible things start to happen. Magic, miracles start to take place. And when we're in this very pivotal time here where we are closing ourselves off, we're sealing off a timeline, a lower timeline, let's just say, of things that have been repetitive experiences, events, ways of believing, ways of thinking, ways of feeling that have been on a karmic loop cycle of being for a long time. As we move closer to September 19th and this portal is closing, it's sealing off things in that lower timeline. Maybe there's some things that you want to pack into that timeline, almost like, a time capsule where you want to close off this old way of being and send it packing off with this lower timeline as it dissolves after September 19th. And then with that freed up energy in its place, what do you want to create? What are your true desires? What are your true intentions? And how will they set a path or trajectory, a direction, where you set your compass to due north and head off in a completely different way in your life? Your purpose lies in that. And you can only create from this level or frequency where you feel like all possibilities and potentials are open for you to design and cultivate a destiny for yourself that is maybe a little unfamiliar and completely unrecognizable from the person that you've been before. This is all open to you now. It's just about you choosing a frequency that helps you to move into and step into that higher timeline for yourself. So as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I want to wish you so much love and peace. Bye-bye.